Hello, my name is Melissa Holden, and I am going to explain to you why I am sitting in front of this camera. I am making a video because I would normally be very busy about this time because I am doing physical exercise because I was originally using intermittent fasting. I don't think I say that word right. Intermittent fasting, and I thought it wasn't working because I was gaining weight. I had lost a whole lot of weight, and I thought, oh, it stopped working because I gained weight and I'm having all these hot flashes and stuff, and I thought it was a matter of messing my hormones all up, and it wasn't. I was exercising, and the message, my hormones were, I wasn't triggering the right ones, and somehow was messaging that I need to get hot, like sweat from exercising, and I wasn't burning calories, but it was making me hot. And I thought, well, gosh, if that's what I need to do to get skinny, never mind. I'm not interested. So I stopped for a while. But then, for some reason, I realized, oh, I'm gaining weight and all these other things because of menopause, not because of anything else. It's perfectly normal. Took me a long time to figure that out. So I started to do the intermittent fasting again because I saw it did work and there is a lot of sense in it. And a lot of the reasons why things do work or don't work for people, a lot of the reason has to do with whether or not you believe it will. Because, like, take the whole placebo effect with drugs. Your mind is very powerful. And I had a psychologist when I was in the hospital want to do a study. I mean, he actually wrote a story. He said he put it in some magazine, some psychology magazine about me because he is like, well, you weren't supposed to heal and you did. And he said, are you a spiritual person? He thinks that's why. Who knows why? But anyway, that's neither here or there. Right now I'm telling you about it was kind of interesting for me. So during it, I was like noticing that I kept getting really bad headaches, and I was trying to figure out what it was and isolate what it was, and I was like, one by one, I'd cut things out, and I'd still have the headache. I was like, well, it wasn't caused by that, it wasn't caused by that, and then I just figured out what it was. It was crocheting. Crocheting and knitting was giving me a headache because one of the things that happens as you get older, or about probably around late 40s or late 50s, you start to lose a lot of muscle mass. And previously, I could use my muscles without worrying about it because I had a lot of them. But apparently, now if I do anything, like if I exercise a lot, my muscles are so sore. I maybe overproduce lactic acid. I don't know. All I know is that is what that will. It was another thing too, but I nipped that in the bud. It was we drank a lot of non-calories drinks. Like recently I switched everybody over in my family to drinking Crystal Light because there's no calories. And I was getting those little packets that are powder that you put in a drink so that I have something to drink. And there's no calories, right? So I'm not gaining weight because of that, or not weight, but sugar. Those give me a headache. And by researching, I found out there's something in that sweetener that, without explaining too much, that and the crocheting, two harmless things cause me to have headaches. And then I was watching this other video where somebody was talking about certain diet foods or things that were allowed during fasting. So they thought it would give them a free pass, and they noticed that was causing their blood to spike. And I was like, I'll have them be. I'm just not going to eat anything. I'm going to go on prolonged fast, and I still haven't done a prolonged fast, but doing my intermittent fasting, which usually means don't eat and sleep at night, and then you wake up and you've done your hours every day. Well, I noticed something and I looked it up. It's actually a thing called the dawn effect. Not everybody has this, but I noticed that I have, and it's pretty significant. I have a really low blood sugar. At fasting blood sugar or sleeping blood sugar goes down to about like low 60s, like 62. And at least that's low for me. I know if I was awake and moving around, I'd be like really lethargic. Anyway, some people don't have it because I have two daughters that I know in particular. They don't drink coffee and stuff. One of them has asked me a couple times, "Are you sure that it's not okay to drink coffee?" And I'm like, anything with too much, I could tell you not to drink hot cocoa or to eat brownies because I've cut those out. But I told her that it's caffeine. Caffeine is making up for your lack of energy. And that's what she doesn't have. I don't think that she has a spike in blood sugar where it's your body's way of preparing you. I think that's the way intermittent fasting works. This is just my idea and how it does work for me. What happens is if I go without eating, it lowers my blood sugar and gets it like every day. It's almost, I've noticed this trend overtaking my blood sugar. It stays about 62, and then right before I wake up, it jumps up. And that gives me all the energy so that I can wake up, because I wouldn't be able to do all my superwoman things in the morning if I didn't have that boost of energy. Anyway, then one morning I just decided, well, my blood is up too high, because I was like, I was noticing the program that I have, it takes them and it calculates them all and finds them an average or a mean or something. I think it's an average. Anyway, and I was like, well, even with my lows and my highs, my average is still above 100. And I was like, I don't want it. When my highs, we're talking, I have highs. The normal, if I don't fast, my blood sugar doesn't, it's not even likely to drop. And I'm not insulin resistant, I'll tell you that right now. I don't have a problem of, my body likes to maintain a certain number. I've noticed over time. It just, and it can be really high, and then when it doesn't have problems changing or dropping. My thing is that I wasn't eating anything. Okay, so it was high, and I wanted it to be leveled out because they were saying, and by they, I shouldn't just throw out phrases like that. Some experts, medical experts, were saying that you should keep your blood sugar within a certain, like, let's say about like a 30-point range or something. I don't know what it should be, but anyway, I was like, well, I think I should aim for that. Once again, me thinking health is more important than weight. I would like to lose weight, but if I don't, it's okay. I just don't want to be going up and down, because I need my weight to centralize, or to be a certain amount, so that my balance can affect everything else. But I need to take control of what it is. Anyway, so I was going to lower that natural jog up, that spike that I get in the morning. I was going to take an exercise for about 30 minutes every morning to lower it, right? Makes sense. Well, when I started exercising and doing that, I also noticed that it jumped my blood sugar up even higher. Still, I have not eaten anything. And I was getting really concerned until I found another website where someone explained that that's a pretty common thing that people experience. And I was like, well, I'm glad that I've noticed, because I didn't even know. I don't feel anything, and I don't know anything is going on. But when I when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's crazy. And what it is that the other person said also, your body has no idea. All it knows is that it needs some glucose so that your muscles will be ready and function. It doesn't know whether it's a life or death situation or a bear is chasing you. It doesn't know, and it just thinks, oh, my job is to make sure that she has the energy. So it's looking around, my blood sugar is too low to handle that. So on my fasting app that I also keep, it keeps track, like after this many hours of fasting this, and I look at the number of hours when I exercise. It's also the time when I have entered ketosis, which, if you're on the keto diet, which some people are very, they're really into it anyway. So at that point, my blood sugar spikes, but it's not that I am still burning the sugar in my blood because I'm not burning fat directly, but my body has looked around and is like, oh, where can I get some sugar? Because it's my job to make sure that those muscles have the energy. So they convert some fat to blood glucose. The reason I figured that out is this is for you nerds out there like me. No energy can be created or destroyed, merely transferred. And so I was like, well, if my blood glucose is going up and I haven't added anything to the system, where is it coming from? That's how I figured it. Also, I was peeing on the strip to see that I had ketones in my blood. So anyway, but I measured my glucose and I was like, well, so I can't lower it by exercising. So my thought was maybe if I just don't exercise, I'll spike and then it'll stay on that higher level for a long time. I was like, well, I'll just do that then. And then I thought, well, wait a second. The whole idea of intermittent fasting is that I don't spend any money. Of course, that's the number one reason. And it's so easy. Sure, I sleep every night. No, that's not going to be difficult. But no, the reason being is that I'm trying to get my body to use the fat stores for energy. It'll just say, oh, we don't need any energy. That's fine. And that's not what I want. So I want to go ahead and tax it and say, hey, we're doing exercise. And then my brain will say, oh, it's our job to make sure that she has the energy she needs. So I think I will keep doing that. However, I am not going to be doing my daytime exercise where I go out and train so that I can run in a road race like I was doing. I think I'm totally fine with not doing it. Great. My son walks next to me and I do the thing where I make sure one foot is off at one point during my stride, both of my feet are off the ground. That's jogging. Doesn't matter how fast I go. It's just still jogging. So he's going to walk next to me. So that's fine. I don't need to train. I just need to complete it. So that frees up a whole lot of my time, and I sit around now thinking, what am I going to do? And I've become really, really, really over involved in things, and I'm like, I should stop doing that. Maybe it's a mental illness some people have where you become obsessed, maybe OCD, I don't know. But anyway, I've been writing music and I'm singing songs and memorizing things and I'm doing all these things that are not necessary. And I'm like, I don't need, there's a saying, not a saying, it's a scripture that we don't need to run faster than we're able. And I need to remind myself, no one's asking me to do those things because I teach this class. And I was like, I asked them to memorize something and they said they couldn't do it. So then I was going to write a song. I could use that time to do that, this time to do that. But I don't need to do that. They don't want to memorize it. makes me what my daughter calls an overachiever. I'm not trying to be, I just have a lot of time now because I've decided that I'm not going to do that running. So now I have to find something else to do with that time. So I'm making movies again. And that's the rest of the story. I still don't have a catchphrase though.